Good afternoon, distinguished guests on the presidential table and our esteemed participants in this forum and launch of the Education for All for 2012. This is a presentation on the TVET opportunities for marginalized youth of the TESDA Women Center, so it has a special focus on urban young women. So by way of introduction, TESDA, or the Technical Education and Skills Development Authority, is one of the three pillars of the Philippine education system. The other two are the Department of Education. It manages primary and secondary education, and then the Commission on Higher Education, which manages public and private degree granting institutions in the Philippines. TESDA is the lead government agency tasked to manage and oversee technical education and skills development in the country. So it provides education and training opportunities for students and learners so that they will be prepared for employment, whether self-wage or self and entrepreneurship development. It can also provide skills development opportunities for existing workers in industry so that they can upgrade their competencies so that they will become more employable and more productive. So this is our training center. It's the TESDA Women Center. It is a training center under TESDA. It's one of the specialized training centers of TESDA. It was built in 1998 through a grant aid project from the government of Japan. So its establishment is in line with the affirmative action policy of TESDA and the national government to provide training opportunities in industrial courses that are traditionally dominated by men, like automotive and welding. So since its establishment, we have trained about 4,019 women in qualifications for wage and self-employment. So the TESDA Women's Center is the first technical vocational education and training institution in Asia to obtain the silver level accreditation status from the Asia Pacific Accreditation and Certification Commission, or APAC. The status was first bestowed on TWC in May 2008, and TWC renewed its accreditation against silver level this year in February 2012. So we were assessed in 7 criteria like governance and management, teaching and learning, faculty and staff, research and development, extension, consultancy and linkages, our resources, our training resources, and also the support to students that we give to our trainees. So our vision, this is our vision statement. In every Filipino household, a woman skilled for a living and educated for life. So our vision is to enhance and improve the status of women in society. So we envision that women are skilled and educated for life. So we give them training opportunities that will make them more skilled and employable. Our aim is also to raise them to gender equality status with men as providers in the home, as income providers in the home, and also as role players in the family and community. Thus, we have crafted our vision as to develop the competence and character of women in the most marginalized sectors of Philippine society, to equip them with an employable skill and prepare them for their role in the family and community, thereby raising their status to gender equality. So our programs and services, we provide free training, quality training for women, and the training is competency-based. This means competency-based training is a training approach geared towards the demonstration of skills, knowledge, and attitudes that meets industry-specified standards rather to an individual's achievement relative to that of others in a group. So the focus of competency-based training, the learner is the center of the learning process, and the trainer merely acts as facilitator, coach, or mentor of the trainee. So among the principles of competency-based training, it basically provides for greater flexibility in the training system. Like learning is modular or self-paced, and then it allows for multiple entry and exit into the system. So for such valid reasons as financial, work, or family, or work-related reasons, a trainee can exit into the system and then after a certain period of time re-enter the system again to gain the full qualification. And then it consists of on and off the job training. So learning is both in industry and in the classroom or in the practical work area or workshop. And trainees, assessment is mandatory. Trainees are required to undergo the national competency assessment so that they can obtain a national certificate or a certificate of competency, which is proof of their qualification or competence in terms of the knowledge, skills, and attitude required in the workplace. So the 10 CBT programs of the Test the Women Center, these are with training regulations. WTR means assessment is mandatory at the end of the training program. So we have automotive servicing NC2. It's repair and troubleshooting of automotive vehicles with diesel or gas engine. And then it is for about 1,178 hours or 7 months. And our graduates of automotive servicing are qualified to be automotive service technicians in industry. Commercial cooking. This is preparing hot and cold meals, and then they're qualified to be pastry or kitchen cooks. And then it is for 1,394 hours or 8.5 months. Consumer electronics is repair and troubleshooting of domestic appliances and also cell phone repair. So they can be domestic appliance technicians or cellular repair technicians. It's for 6.5 months. Dressmaking is 5 months. It's drafting, cutting, and sewing of ladies' apparel, including blouses and pants. So they are qualified to become dressmakers or garment sewers. Food processing, it's processing food by salting, curing, and smoking, fermentation, and pickling, sugar concentration, including packaging and bottling. So they are qualified to become production aid or packaging aid in food processing companies. It is for 5.5 months. Food and beverage services it's 640 hours or 4 months. So it's providing food and beverage service to guests in hotels. They can become waiters, food attendants, or food servers. Housekeeping is preparing guest rooms, providing housekeeping and valet services. They can become room or cabin attendants, valet runners, or butlers. It's for 738 hours or 4.5 months. And welding, we have 100% employment in welding. Companies like AGMP in Batangas, the fabrication yard of AGMP in Batangas employs women welder graduates of the Test the Women Center. So it's only for 4 months, and they are qualified to be SMAW welders. A trainee can also opt to take just 1 or 2 competencies of a full qualification. So for example, we offer modular or short-term courses. For example, in consumer electronic servicing, they can just take up the cell phone repair or domestic appliances servicing module. But they will be awarded a training certificate, and they are still required to undergo the mandatory assessment to get the national competency certificate. Supervised work-based training, this is our in-house OJT. It is mandatory. It is for 80 hours. And then they undergo in-house OJT in designated training areas of TESDA, like the TWC cafeteria for commercial cooking